This can be hugely how you address the partner.
So I'm going to... He wants food.
Thank you, my son. Thank you for the love. How refreshing.
That's like... It's 20 minutes to mealtime and he's pissy about it. Hi friends, and welcome to Wives vs. World. I'm Anya.
I'm Jackie.
And today we want to talk about how to be a good partner to a trans person.
You might be on board, but what does it all mean? What's gonna happen? How can you best help your significant other? We've been together for quite some time, and during our relationship, for those of you who don't know, I transitioned. And Anya was a really, really big part of that, and she really helped me out. We've been through a lot, so it might not be applicable to everyone. And this might just be our stories, but there is some power in sharing, and maybe you find some resonance with that. Okay, so first of all, there are two small things. The first one is be understanding and be kind. This is a really, or can be a really difficult time in a person's life where they're trying to figure out not just who they are, but how they fit in. So be a bit patient. Maybe they're unreasonable. Maybe they're being irrational. They probably know that. So be a little bit patient with them. And the second one of these small ones here, do use the right pronouns and the right name for the person who is making the decision to transition or who is questioning their gender identity. This can make a huge difference and be very affirmative. We do know sometimes it slips up, you're not used to it. That's okay. You just have to keep going. Okay, without further ado, let's move into the numbered list.
So we have 3 main tips on how to be supportive for a partner that is just coming out as trans. This is specifically aimed for the people who are in a relationship, they found out their partner is trans and they want to be supportive. They accept it, they want to be supportive, and they want to know how to best be supportive, but maybe it's a little bit difficult. Okay, so the first of these tips is the smallest one in my opinion, but it can really make a really big difference. It's about how you talk to your partner, your trans partner. Because whether we like it or not, or whether we are aware of it or not, the way we address each other in a relationship can be pretty gendered. The way we talk to each other, the nicknames we give, the compliments we give, they might be different depending on which gender your partner is. So for example, if your partner's transitioning, it could make a difference to evaluate the language that you use and adjust it accordingly. So just to explain what I mean, we can take the example from our own relationship. Because when we got together, I thought I was dating a boy, but then it turns out
surprise, it's a girl.
Yeah, I don't remember how I used to give you compliments, how I used to talk to you. In our case, the before times weren't especially gendered.
No,
I realized that you responded really well to getting more feminine compliments, if you will.
Feminine compliments.
Yeah, so like I started calling you beautiful a lot. To tell you that I think you're really beautiful, and I think I phrased it in a way that was different to what it was before.
Exactly.
And I also started I started using other nicknames like princess and cutie and stuff like that. That would be more gender affirmative for you.
Exactly. There's a case to be made that gendered language is bullshit. But especially when your partner is just starting out their transition, it can be very affirmative.
Yeah, and obviously this is going to be very different for everyone, right? Like what type of gendering they like their compliments to be, or whatever. It's a suggestion. It can be a way to show your partner that you view them as they want to be viewed.
And just make sure that's the way that they are comfortable.
I think it's applicable for body language as well. Because yeah, maybe we don't think about it, but we tend to maybe touch each other differently depending on the gender of our partner.
Maybe some people are not used to physical intimacy, maybe not used to being hugged, maybe not used to that kind of that way of showing love, if that makes sense. So maybe you need to adjust that, maybe you need to up the frequency.
Like I think something, just to relate it to our case, I think something that I did differently was like I touched your face more, because it's very like it's gentle, it's soft, and it's a very cute way of body language, right?
Exactly.
I may have done that anyway, who knows? But it's a difference from before. And also, I slap your butt a lot.
Exactly.
I don't think I did that before at all, actually. Yeah, now I slap your bub.
My
I
bub.
slap your bub a lot.
Slap up.
Because I enjoy that and you enjoy that, and
Exactly.
it's cute.
It's also applicable if your partner is non-binary, because
exactly.
then you turn down the dial, or you find that sweet spot, where they are comfortable. You know, this is very, very individual.
So the next point is also a rather small thing, but that can make a really big difference. And that is to help your trans partner when and if they are going for a new look and a new wardrobe. Also from our case, it was a really big deal to buy new clothes, to change the whole look, to transition in society, basically,
Exactly.
right? There can be a lot of dysphoria involved in going to changing rooms, trying on clothes, figuring out what fits and how it fits and how to do it. It's a vulnerable situation.
It really is. You might have so many ideas about what you want to wear and how it's going to fit, but there is a world of difference between what a pre-transitioning kind of brain can imagine to then what's actually gonna look okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so important to have someone who's willing to help, who's patient, who's willing to put up with the, and this is just my experience here, put up with the tantrums that I threw when my brainchild of an outfit surprise was horrendous.
It can also be really intimidating going into a new section of the clothes department because they tend to be really gendered, right? So if you haven't been used to shopping in the men's department or women's department or whatever, it can be pretty intimidating just going in there, right? And trying to find whatever you want to try on. So I think to have someone there, to have your partner there, also in the dressing room, no one looks good in the fluorescent lighting.
No.
And having to take your clothes off and stuff like that. Yeah, it's awkward. And especially for trans people, it can be a really trying experience, right? In that whole process, it can be really good to have your partner there and have your partner be supportive and understanding and patient in that process.
While Anya is much thinner than I am, we are still roughly the same height. We have many of the same kind of measurements going on. So I was able to, in the comfort of our own home, borrow some of Anya's stuff, and she would be able to help me with pointers, with tips. Well, that doesn't work. A lot of the dysphoria I felt was related to how I saw myself and how I didn't necessarily think that I looked that particularly good. So Anya was really a very big help in supporting me and making sure that whatever I was doing it in a way that I was comfortable and confident with.
It's not everyone who's going to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe and stuff like that. But a lot of trans people often try to find some new clothes that represent their identity better. That's also just a minor thing that can make a big difference. And it may take up a lot of space in the early transition. Yeah.
So trans people, do not be afraid to lean on your partners. And partners, please let your partner lean on you.
Yeah, and don't get angry, don't get impatient when they criticize themselves, when they just cannot see beyond what their brain is telling them. So the third, and I think the most important part of these tips, the biggest one, is to talk about your expectations for the transition, because it will affect you both probably. And it's I think it's really, really good to talk about it, to seriously talk about it. First of all, the transitioning partner, what do they want? How do they want to transition? What is their end goal, so to say?
What does transitioning mean to that person?
Yeah, exactly. Because maybe when you hear your partner is trans, what you imagine isn't necessarily what they imagine. Yeah, so do they want to transition socially? Or do they want to go on hormone treatment? Hormone replacement treatment? Do they want surgery? All these things. Have a talk about that and be open and honest about your hopes and also your fears for what will happen. As we said before, Jackie transitioned really young, and we were both really young when it happened. So we didn't have the maturity or the information, the understanding to sit down and have a talk about it like that, right? But I do remember that we had a conversation. So what is it you want to do to try to understand? Because you had already kind of transitioned socially.
Yeah.
And that was fine by me. I didn't care if it ended there or somewhere else, but I wanted to know, so I asked what's next, what is it that you kind of want in the overall picture. And you said that first of all you wanted to get hormone replacement treatment, right?
Yes.
And that information really made me understand how serious this was, how much you like meant this change.
Exactly. I think to you it was like it went, oh
yeah, oh, so that's what you want to do. So I was still kind of unsure, but then when you said that you want to go on hormones, then I understood. This is what it means. And then, okay, how do we find a doctor? All that stuff.
Exactly. And that was...
yeah, that's for another story,
exactly.
Right? So to be... The most supportive you can be is to also understand what you're working with, what you are working towards together.
Exactly. And I mean, not only will this help inform you as a partner or you as a relationship about what direction you might be going in, it might also help your partner, your trans partner. You know, I could not see the road ahead of me because I was so caught up in, oh my God, what is going to happen? How can I get the hormones I want? Are my friends going to support me? Are my loved ones going to be here? I did not, even just things like, I'm going to start university soon. And this was so many years ago. What is that going to be like? And then we had some talks and we figured out what was the next steps going to be. And that really helped. So
yeah, it helped you start to see the journey and a future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it also helped me make very clear the kind of things that transitioning meant for me. Because it did not necessarily mean like going all the way. And all the way is in really, really big quotation marks because that is a bullshit concept. But like it became open to me that I had options, that I could make this really my own journey. I didn't have to follow like a cookie cutter, pre-mapped out adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. And then also, of course, be open to that these goals that the transitioning partner may have may change. They're not necessarily...
No.
Maybe a person feels like, I need to do everything. I need surgery, I need hormones, I need to change everything, I need to move away. Because it's a frustrating time. So it may be that this is their end goal. It may be that the process then starts and maybe the end goal changes. Maybe they don't want surgery, maybe they don't want hormones, maybe they don't...
Exactly.
All these things. It can go a million different ways. And it's just also important to like be open to that and have evaluations, like discuss it along the way, right? What is the mental
sit down,
now?
have a touch point, see where's the personal development goals, have we reached the quotas, stuff like that. But like the truth is, guys, everyone in a sense transitions. It is just very, very discussed right now when it concerns trans people, but we all go from one stage of being to another stage of being during our lives, and we all learn about ourselves and we all change our priorities. That is just a human fact of life. Well, you have some idea of where you want to be, and along the way you might change your mind, you might not. As long as you're open and clear about that, that's really all it takes. It's all about communication. So that's the big secret. Just talk to each other. Come on.
Yep, so that was our 3 tips on how to be a supportive partner to a trans person. We hope you find this useful, and maybe someone out there will not have thought of these things and it may resonate with them and they can take it to heart.
Exactly.
And if not, that's fine. Please, if you have any other good advice that anyone could use, please leave it in the comments.
Share.
Yes, let's make a community. Let's share our tips and experiences, because there's not a lot of us out there, and the media is crazy right now. We don't need that shit.
Exactly.
Let us talk to each other instead. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe for more. And if you want more of us, you can find us on our Instagram account. Bring! Okay.
Give it a thumbs up if you want to.
That was it for now, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye!